Okay. Yeah. So here is what was cooking on high scores past 2 weeks. So first of all, first update from the platform side, we have added this subject-wise composite score in attempt reports. So earlier, the composite score, the subject-specific SAT score was visible in the report, but it was too small here on the bar, as you can see. So now we have added it separately, the composite score separately for reading and writing and the math so that it is clearly visible to the teachers and the students. Okay, so this is visible in the report PDF when you go to uh, any test and you go to review and then you download the report from here. You will see this composite score there. For example, this particular report, earlier the composite score was added, but it was very small. The font size was very small to be readable. Now we have added it separately and now it's clearly visible to the teachers and the students. Secondly, we have also modified the layout. Earlier, the report was in landscape format, but now we have changed the format to the portrait to provide a more cleaner and user-friendly view to teachers and students. Now, second feature that we have added is new layout for creating and editing questions. So earlier, when the teacher or the creator created the questions or the reviewer edited or reviewed the questions, or she has to go through multiple tabs to do that. So which was quite time consuming. So now we have merged all the tabs and now the tabs are visible on a single page as you can see in this screenshot. It starts with the instruction tab, the question tab, followed by the options, and lastly an explanation. So teachers or the creator can edit or review the questions being on one page at one go. This saves the time for the teachers and or the question creator, basically. So this also gives the smoother experience to the teachers or the creators. Now, the third feature that we have added is the reviewer role in the classroom settings. So, earlier, teachers or the directors basically could only add the teachers as instructors in the classroom. So, whoever is added as instructors could make all the changes, could access all the settings of the classroom. Okay, so which also resulted in sometimes assessments being modified or added or removed unintentionally by some teachers. So if director wants to add teacher to the classroom, give them access to only the results but not allow them to add or remove assessments from the classroom or modify the classroom settings, the director can do so by adding the teacher in the reviewer panel. Okay, the reviewers will have access to the classroom. They can see the results, the added assessments, but could not make any changes to classroom settings or add or remove assessments. This gives creator or classroom creator or basically the director more control over the classroom. Fourth feature that we have added is terminate ongoing attempts. So ongoing attempts are basically if the student started the test or the assessment but did not finish it or did not complete it or submitted it. So what happens if the assessment or the test isn't completed or submitted within 24 hours, system automatically abandons it. But now we have also added this option, terminate option, so that teachers can terminate the assessment before 24 hours if he or she wants. Uh, Any questions, Mary?
No, the last point is very interesting.
Yeah. So this is what we have, what was cooking in on HighScores past 2 weeks. And what's coming next in terms of platform updates, we are adding the comment box for flagging questions. So if you find any problem in the question, so earlier we had four options. Like for example, if I flag this question, for students or the directors or teachers could just just select any of these five options. But if you want to provide a detailed feedback to us, you could only select the last option, and this text box appears over here, right? So now we are also adding the text box in each of the four options. So if you say, hey, the question is incorrectly framed, so you can specify the problem also, or also provide the suggestions as how we can improve. So this also helps our team to improve the questions according to the feedback provided by you. So you can always you will be allowed to give detailed feedback on explanation, question, or options in particular. Second thing that we are working on is we are designing the dashboard for the flagged issues, so that you and we together can track and review the flagged questions effectively. You can check the progress of the flagged issues. Okay, teachers and directors can check the progress of the flagged issues. When was it flagged? Was it resolved? What was the modified question, etc. So this will be launching by next week, next week, in the next release.
Mhm.
In terms of content updates, we have added 150 hard math questions, which you will find in the question pool. Okay, if you go to the question bank and so filter out the hard questions, on the top you will find the 150 newly added hard math questions. These are basically added to provide the targeted practice to the students. Now, in terms of content, what's coming next on HighScores? We are
So one thing,
redesigning the.
Himani,
Yeah,
one thing I wanted to add here is we
yeah,
are adding we are adding harder questions because in actual SCT exams, the math section is a little bit harder, especially last 3-4 questions in the
Yes.
hard module. So we are
And that,
creating, or I would say, enriching our question pool with more harder questions, and also including in our tests. That is why
that
we are creating more harder questions now and adding in the question pool.
I would say, as an SAT math, for me, it was the weak point of the platform. The math question were not really what is the real SAT math right now, and it's very challenging, really very, very challenging. So I'm happy that now we have very hard questions.
okay, that's great. Yeah. So we will be continue to add more of the hard questions going forward. And apart from this, as you can see in the what's coming next, we are also redesigning the DSAT test. Okay, as Yash said, and as you say, we are basically modifying the math issues. So we have total of 12 DSAT tests right now on the platform, correct? So what we are doing is we are modifying 6 DSAT tests and making it more harder by adding the challenging questions. Basically, on the math side, we are creating a brand new harder module. And the static module will be the easy module now. And the current hard module will be the static module. And we are redesigning the whole hard module, hard math. Secondly, we are also revising or enhancing the DSAT explanations. Currently, the current explanations, DSAT math and English explanations as well. On the math side, we are adding step-by-step solutions to the problems and Desmos explanations to the problems if applicable. And wherever some key points or strategies, we are adding those. On the English side, we are adding some tips and tricks to help students master the strategies.